Yeah, Zach, it's a classic trope. This manhwa is very weird because it goes from, I don't know what it wants to be. Because when I'm reading this, all I feel is like, oh, this is clearly a delinquent manga. But then the more I read it, I'm just like, but it's not trying to be a delinquent manga. It just has all the elements of it there.
And then it just changes over on you. Because you get all this fucking character development everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. It's like there's not one character that's left undeveloped throughout the entire series so far.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this shit went from high school drama to potentially a K-pop group to doing
it went from, and then expanding on that, it went to like gang crime, which is still in like gang crime territory.
Organized scamming.
Yeah, it goes all over the place.
So I would also like to know how Zach is like the equivalent of Sasuke in that series. He really is, though.
Yeah.
He's like
Zach Sasuke.
He really is. But
so the manhwa we're talking about is Lookism. It is on Webtoons. You could read it on there for free.
Yeah.
I think it's translated the same day. Right?
Yeah,
is that how Webtoons
so.
works, right?
Yeah, it is.
And I believe it comes out every Monday.
Was it Sundays?
Was it Sunday? I can check right now.
I think it might be Sundays.
Let me see, because I haven't. I don't pay attention to release dates.
So currently, what they are 200 chapters in, I think.
201.
201.
Yeah.
Oh god dang.
So I just caught up earlier today. So there's 201.
I'm behind by like 2 then, because I'm pretty much caught up as well.
Oh yeah, I'm behind 1 chapter.
So
it comes out on Sundays. You're right.
Let's give a quick breakdown. Quick synopsis of the story.
Yeah, so basics synopsis of the story is we have our main character, Daniel Park. And when you read it, at a certain point they change the names to make it easier, right? Because they were all Korean at one point and then they switched it all. But yeah, Daniel Park is the main character. He's the short, fat kid who gets bullied at school. And he lives at home with his mom, who is old, and she's, trying so hard to keep everything afloat financially. Single mom, yeah. And one day he had enough, and he saw like how hard his mom was working, and he wants to move school. So eventually, she's like, you know what? Okay, we're gonna transfer you to a different school. You're gonna live by yourself.
I mean, even from the very beginning, Daniel was kind of a piece of shit.
Oh yeah, he was.
I mean, sure he was being bullied, but that guy was being a piece of shit.
So he would take out all his frustration of being bullied onto his mom, who worked like to the fucking bone, literally to the bone. You would see her like bony fingers when she's trying to make these meals for him. And then there was it was in the beginning scene actually, where his mom's trying to comfort him with comfort food of like ramen with an egg in it, and he slaps the ramen away and is like, "Mom, I don't fucking like an egg with my fucking ramen. Are you fucking kidding me? Come on, grow the fuck up, Mom." And like that whole banter of him just yelling at his mom, and then when he actually leaves, he starts to realize more and more that he was a piece of shit.
Yeah, I mean, if you go into like reading the manga just like at face value, you think like, oh, this guy's just a piece of shit, and you're gonna drop it off him right there.
No, it's he has such good development, but it takes him a really long time to really actually grow up. Like I think it wasn't until recent.
Well, it's because of the whole trope of he's bullied, he's frustrated, upset, he starts punching the walls in his room, right? And that's the only time he feels manly. And so when his mom comes in, he has to act tough to feel like, oh, there's nothing wrong at school,
But going on with the synopsis, so when Daniel Park leaves his hometown, he goes to Seoul, Korea, and what is it? One day he wakes up in his room and
he's got like this naked dude sitting right next to him.
Well, no, he wakes up, he goes to the bathroom, and he looks in the mirror, and he has a Peter Parker moment. He's like, "What the fuck? Is this me? Am I dreaming?"
Oh, and then
he's tall, he's skinny, he's handsome as fuck.
And then he's like, "Oh wow, this is awesome!" And then he leaves the restroom and he looks at his fat body right there lying on the ground, like, "Oh, what the fuck? How did this happen?" And then he starts to realize bit by bit that he can actually change bodies. He can only be in one body for so many hours, otherwise the other one is completely exhausted. So he goes on a 12-hour interval of letting one rest and go to the new school and be this new Daniel Park, while the old one stays at home, which eventually ends up getting a job.
At like a 7-Eleven
Yeah.
overnight shift.
I mean, like right off the bat, as soon as he tried to transfer to like the new place he's in, he fucks up with encountering Zach.
Yes.
And it's like that really ruins his reputation if he went to school like being the way he was. So of course he's going to use like the handsome, like good looking guy to go to school.
And that's where his life changes.
Drastically.
And that's pretty much the premise. You know, he goes to high school, in his new body, goes to work in his old body. And that's pretty much it for synopsis.
And then the characters that he meets all throughout are pretty awesome characters. Let's just kind of go down.
Well, eventually they become.
Yeah, they all become friends, but he has to go through a battle with every single one. The first one is, like Carl said, is Zach. He's this rising up boxer for middle school. He encounters him in his fat body, his original body, and gets in a fight with him and loses. He actually ends up sitting right next to Zach in class the first day of school with his new body and beats him in a immediate 1 KO punch that he learned from his primary bully.
Solar plexus.
Yeah, right in the solar plexus, yeah.
And then after that, he meets the best boy, most wholesome character in the entire series, Vasco.
Of course, like the impression Vasco had of Daniel to begin with is because like he was like rallying all these like nerds around him. It's like, oh, this guy, he's probably using him to his advantage.
He's probably just like any other pretty boy bully that just wants to get all the nerds all around him to make them do their bidding work. But he started to realize that Daniel was not that type of person. He was not the type of pretty boy. He just wanted to make sure that there was nobody left out like how he was left out.
Yeah.
Which was, I mean, that alone was the start of Daniel's climb to being a good person and not being a piece of shit like he was.
Yeah, and I'm glad he's really growing as a character. Each like major arc, pretty much.
And I like the fact that every single character does have their own little arc, and it just shows more of where they started. You know, essentially their own development of who they were versus who they are now. And like after every single encounter with Daniel, you know, how they've grown to be a person, like a really good person to everyone else. And it's not just because, like, there was an arc where Zach is confronted by another character, Jiho Park, and Jiho Park says, "Why do you even hang out with me? Just because I'm dead weight? You know, you don't even consider me your friend." And Zach goes, "I've always considered you my friend, but you never considered us your friends because we're too pretty. You know,
I swear this
you can't expect something out of someone else if you don't look at them the way that they should be looked at. Like, I look at you like a human now. Yeah, before I look at you like you're a piece of shit, but I've changed."
Yeah,
and it was that revelation that really showed two different dynamics of you have this nerdy character, Jiho Park, who is foreverly doomed to be this guy and turn into this huge asshole that he does later on, and believing that nobody will ever like him because he's a certain way, versus Zach, who was the bully and then realized, you know what, this isn't the way you should treat people. This is, you know, you should treat people a different way. We're all human, you know, and just seeing that whole dynamic progress that shit was legit. I'm not gonna lie.
Still hate that guy though.
Oh, Jiho Park?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah, man. That guy's an asshole.
I said it in my spoiler-free review. This is the one character that he doesn't progress at all in any arc. Every arc that involves him, it's the same story. You know, he finds this new thing that he likes. He gets into a tough situation. Everything gets really fucked, and then he has to rely on these guys to fix it for him. And then he's still an asshole at the end of it. Like the part where he was gambling on that phone game that they had.
Oh my
like
gosh,
that shit.
ridiculous.
I was just getting pissed. I'm like, bro, you just did something like this like 3 arcs ago. What are you doing? You know,
it was bad. I mean, I think he might be the only character that progresses negatively.
But badly, yeah. But we're probably never going to see him again.
No, I think he won't.
I see. I would say yes. That's a typical route. But his sentence is 3 years.
That's true.
I don't think we're gonna go past high school in this manga. Like, it's very rarely for high school mangas to go, or manhwas to go past, into college and stuff. So I don't think we're gonna see him anytime soon, unless he gets off early, which I don't think so.
He's now affiliated with that kingpin who he put into jail.
Yeah, that's true, and he's one of the top guys that we're supposed to meet up with eventually. So
because that guy only has 6 months time.
that guy, yeah, okay,
So you can get him out early.
yeah, we'll see. Cause he's just gone
I just-
at the end of the prison section.
I like the biggest life lesson that they gave during that situation. They had two different perspectives, from like Daniel's perspective and Gio's, of that one line where life is unfair.
Yep.
And he gave. They first started off with Gio's perspective.
Yep.
And he was just locked in solitary confinement because this guy literally beat the shit
Yep.
out of one kid to the point where he almost tried to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
And he just this one quote just went to his head, like, life is unfair. But then someone else in another cell was saying, like, well, good for you, man, for beating him up.
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
If you didn't do that, then who else was going to do it?
Exactly. And then versus the dynamic of Daniel Park getting the exact same line.
Yeah.
And he's all, yeah, life can be unfair, but I'm going to do the best I can to make it fair for myself, for everybody else around me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and not turn into a psychopath and try and kill everybody. Like that alone. And he went and fought his own demons. And that fight was phenomenal, where he finally confronted the bully that made him leave his hometown.
I mean, even when he finally re-encountered him the first time in his handsome body, he still had those kind of fears against him, because, like, despite him being as strong and as formidable, like, he probably could have taken on Logan with his former body, no doubt about that. But of course, he had the fear just building within him to not prevent him from actually, like, fighting in the first place.
Yeah.
But one thing I want to point out too, speaking, going further from that, is the actual psychological, like, psychotic breaks that every single character has in every single one of their arcs, like, specifically about that. And then where Daniel references himself and his situation to Logan Lee, his bully, as Pavlov's dog from Nietzsche. Mm-hmm. That alone, when I read that little tidbit and he's referencing that, it's like, you're really going, like, this creator of Lookism is really pointing out the harsh realities of the world, in a comic. And this is a very real-time thing that could happen to anybody in the world. Like, you could be stuck in a situation where you're a bully, where you're being bullied by somebody, and any single time you see them, you're like Pavlov's dog. You immediately freeze, and you have to follow exactly what needs to be done for them. That I really appreciate that tidbit.
And man, just reading this, I was like, what happened to this guy that wrote this, dude?
Oh, yeah, I know. I feel the same way all the time.
Because, like, it's like every, like, 3 or 4 arcs, there's, like, a really messed up arc.
Yep.
Like, I think the first one was the Stalker, I think, right?
Oh my god.
I've actually had a stalker before, and that scared the shit out of me, because I vividly remembered that this person had called me and was like, hey, I'm outside your house. And I had told this person, like, hey, don't come near me. Like, I don't want to deal with you. Like, this is not how I'm supposed to, like, no, like, that's it. We're done. Because she was stalking me. Went to my school, followed me at work, went to my house, and I literally opened my window and she was out there in the rain on the phone, and I didn't know what to do, and I freaked out. And when that stalker arc came in, and this bitch was in his house wearing diapers underneath his sink.
You're talking about that? I was talking about the first one.
That wasn't.
You're talking about the dude with the knife, right?
Yeah, with Zoe.
Dude. Oh, dude, that one's just as bad. No, that one's not as bad. I'm sorry, no. The one with the chick where she was in his house the whole time eating fucking roaches to stay alive. Yeah. No, man. No, dude. I was not down with the business. I got chills. I legitimately felt this dude's pain. Mm-hmm. Like, it was not okay.
And see, the crazy part is, he's got pretty nice art style, right? Yeah, for the characters. It's nice. It's nice, kind of like simplistic. It looks like a posterized version of these characters. Mm-hmm. But then when he draws, like, these creeps, like,
he gets really real.
He gets in there.
That time where they went to that camp retreat. That one coach, he was, like, watching over all the kids, and he brought that one. I forget.
The priest. You're talking about the priest that took him.
No.
Was it them? No, it wasn't.
No, there was another one.
It was with the school.
Yeah.
They went to the training camp.
And then that guy, he brought that one girl out to, like, the gym room. It was like, hey, can you clean this stuff with
Minna,
me?
right? Or what?
Yes. He took Mira.
Yeah, Mira, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Several counts of sexual assault. And the second this guy gets this girl alone, the second his face just changes.
Yeah. I mean,
the mood for that whole arc just shifts.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, dude, what is he trying to go for? Because, like, the flashback with her and Zach,
it's
with their best friend.
Oh, Johan.
Yeah, with the
cult leaders,
with the god dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one was fucking crazy too. Yeah. Like, Jesus Christ.
The thing is that I feel like a lot of these things happen to this dude, and this is only my perspective and my assumption, because of there's a certain line when they're doing the whole idol arc, where they ask Daniel Park, the pretty Daniel Park, like, oh, can you act this for me? And the scene that he's acting,
it was a kid being bullied.
Being bullied. And the way that Daniel was doing it was exactly like how he was being bullied. Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, it was verbatim, line for line, what he had said in the very beginning, of the entire series when he was being bullied by Logan Lee.
The level of detail they had in there is like the way he had his hand slightly shifted to the side so he would not get stepped
urine,
on.
Yep.
Yeah, urine, so he could avoid it.
And then even the guy interviewing Daniel for that role, he says there's no way anyone could do this unless they had lived it themselves. But he's too pretty; he couldn't have ever lived it.
Yeah.
And that alone made me. I had to take a step back and think, what really happened to this dude? Like, did he witness something like this? Did he experience it himself? Like, this shit was so real. Like, I had to grab a tissue. I had that one come down. Like,
I did actually saw an interview where he was brought onto a TV show, a Korean TV show.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the exact details for it, but he said he's gone through his fair share of being bullied in high school, and he's projecting that kind of same stuff on his manhwa. And I remember him going into detail about the kind of scams scenarios that he would do in his manhwa. And one of them was it's very typical for a boyfriend to have multiple girlfriends, and for him to get cash from these girlfriends, they do this method where they talk to one girl, it's like, hey, I'm gonna get this moped. It'd be really cool if we would be riding around town. It's like, I'm just $1,000 short. If you could spot me.
Yeah.
And then the girl spots him. But then he does the same thing to another girl, and it's like, hey, I'm 2,000 short. You know what? Could you spot me? And then the whole time, he's never had any money to begin with. Every single girl he's went to, he earned enough purely from just convincing those girls to get him money to buy the moped. So he never raised a single cent of that to buy a moped.
It's wild.
And it's a very common scam in Korea, actually.
That is wild.
And it was sad because they even asked the guy, he asked one of the girls who was on the show, was like, hey, would you ever give your boyfriend money? I was like, oh, yeah, maybe.
See, and that's crazy how true to form, he's really putting this content out there into this series. That this is all real-time stuff that can happen anywhere. And a lot of these, the gang-related arcs that happen, I mean, no one's going to report that stuff in reality, but it definitely happens all around.
Yeah, that's where he gets into the very delinquent manga area, the more mature, in between seinen and shonen, which is pretty interesting to go with this. Because I wouldn't think, oh yeah, he has a young body, he'd be pretty good at fighting. I didn't think of that at all.
Right.
But then, of course, we get into Crystal's father shows up, and it's just like, oh, what's going on? Oh no, when we find out, Crystal's the same way.
Yeah, well, when there's another character introduced who has also two bodies,
and it's literally just this. I think it's a little funny how it's just like if he draws fat people, they're literally the same height, same shape,
they look the same way.
Yeah,
except for Duke.
Especially when when they manhwas, they're all in color, right? There's a lot of work that goes into a weekly manhwa, and I'm reading one right now that I'll review later. But it's you can clearly tell when basically they're the time spent. I have to devote my time on these big action scenes, so let's draw chibi versions of these characters while they do something. And when with Duke and Daniel, they're just kind of drawn the same, But yeah, when we find out that there's more than one person with this,
it's wild because that alone, they kind of mention it and then he doesn't really go back and talk about it because there's really no evidence for that in real time anyway. How can you suddenly go to sleep and wake up in another body that is extremely fit? You can do anything to that body. There's a certain point where he eats all this food and doesn't gain a single amount of weight from it.
Yeah, that's the thing about his new body. It doesn't change.
No, he went to that part where he wanted to just try to describe okay, what is this body? Where did it come from? Who it is? Who does it belong to?
Oh, when he fell out of the window.
Yeah. And then he goes to this old abandoned school, and he finds all these pictures and a whole wall of trophies, and they all had the same name over and over and over.
But it was all a ruse.
Was it really a ruse though?
And then the father came up to confront him. He's like, all right, you better stop finding this evidence.
Yeah, stop looking for this person.
If you want to keep this body, and it's like,
yeah,
it's wild.
Mm-hmm.
It's
wild. The chairman's clearly behind it. Crystal's father's clearly the one. Yeah.
He's found a way to. I mean, if his daughter was able to do it, then.
So I think the way it's going to plan out now for Daniel is because he finally woke in the current arc. He woke up, and
he's grown up.
Well, at this point, he ran away from school, from where he lived. He even ran away from his mother's home because
of Logan.
He walked in, and she was on the phone talking to a guy, thinking about going on a date, and he was like, "I don't want to burden my mother anymore." You know, at this point, he's grown so much on that aspect. And then, when he finally wakes up, it's like, well, the only thing I can see him doing now is trying to figure out what this chairman wants from him. Unite the Four?
He has to surpass DG.
Oh, GDG in the modeling, right?
But in order to surpass, in order to even get to DG, he has to unite the Big Four, which has been noted that the Big Four is the four biggest high school gangs in all of Korea.
And it's only been revealed to be
we know two for sure.
No, they mentioned all four names, but we've only really seen the God.
Well, assuming like Unite the Four, it's the leaders, right? We've already seen technically 3 of them, or maybe we've seen all of them.
We might have.
Well, okay. So we've seen the Dog Gods leader, which is Jonah, right? And then the guy in prison, he's another one.
And the blonde guy, right?
And then the blonde guy, Jin, whatever, that kid that was bullied with Vasco in the flashback, his cousin, he's one. So there's one left, which is gonna be, I think, the replacement for Crystal's bodyguard. That guy, right? So he's gonna have to unite those guys somehow. I'm pretty sure it just means he's just gonna have to beat them.
Yeah, pretty much.
They're gonna fight. But I don't think Jonah's gonna fight. He's gonna fight Zach for sure.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. I think so because
that would be a good boxing match.
Because I just reading the new chapter, it's like, oh yeah, they're going after Burn Knuckle. They've had beef for a while, I guess. Dude, Burn Knuckle. Burn Knuckle is such a great name.
Dude, it's
just a bunch of guys in the architecture division of the school, and they're just like, yeah, we're just hanging out.
Yeah, we're just doing our own thing.
They're the most wholesome group ever.
Well, it's because of Vasco.
Tabasco, Vasco. No, that guy is the best character. He's honestly my favorite.
Oh man, and his flashback was so messed up, dude. It was, like I said, like what happened? Like I was like, okay, like yeah, the cult shit with the blind mother, yeah, that was pretty gnarly. But then we see like the reason why he got tattoos.
Yeah,
that kid with that was it the box cutter?
No, it was
no, it was
what was it? It's like
someone had a tattoo needle and tattooed.
It was it was something like a tattoo needle,
like the genitals onto Vasco's arms, and
scarred his whole body,
all this stuff. And he didn't go to school for like a month.
It was a week. It was a week.
Oh, okay, so it was a week, but it was because he had a high fever.
But because his scars got infected, because they were still bleeding. Yeah. Some.
And the one thing I do like is how they pay homage to different animes and comics.
Vasco's literally doing Saitama's workout.
Yeah, I love it. It's great. It's too good.
Yeah, no, manhwas do that a lot. I think I read one. Oh no, it was another manga. He was doing like the Kamehameha, and he's like, "Kidding, I can't do that."
No, but it's definitely a really good find. I think definitely recommend it if someone wants a really good slice of life, delinquent, idol. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to categorize.
Yeah, the idol stuff was really good too. Like the writing when we got introduced to those new characters and we got their backstory, like it's crazy stuff, man.
It's like I said, there is not one character that has been left without a backstory and development, which is what I really like because he's been able to cater to all. And
it's well paced too. I think when it comes to okay, it's time to learn this character's story, or let's put these characters in danger, like at the training camp.
Yeah.
Right? Like that was about, Zach and Mira. Oh man, like the way he drew Zach when he was pissed off. Remember when he walked into the room and just like the anger on his face? Like, oh man, like that was really good.
I'm saying, like, just the way that he changes the entire mood with the facial structure, like, art difference.
It almost makes me wonder how his art style would change if it wasn't in color. Because, you know, Mon was, all like digital art. You know, they're using GIMP or whatever. Photosci, right?
Yeah.
Whatever it's called.
Yeah.
But then I just think back to, like, well, if you look at Mira, you know, Berserk, like that kind of art, I'm pretty sure this guy could get to that level. You know?
Without a doubt.
Because I think it is good for the art direction, but like I think the softness holds it back a little bit.
It definitely does.
You know,
there are some like really really good fight scenes that I feel that could be way better in Black Man.
And you know what? I think it's because it's in color, because it's weekly. There's just that crunch on these webcomics. Yeah. I don't know how these guys do it every week.
I don't know
in full color. And then I'll go over and look at Marvel Comics, and I'm like, look at this shitty art, dude. Why are you hiring these people, man? Like, and plus their issues are monthly, so it's like I don't see, like, you have a team of like 8 people working on this.
It's wild. I mean, like even Tower of God, for example.
Even Tower of God, I'm pretty sure like these manga guys, it's just them, right? Maybe with a small team of like 2 or 3 editors, you know.
But much respect to those guys, because I couldn't do it.
Yeah. Well, especially now, I think, because remember, like Tower of God, an example, it didn't start off on webtoons. It was its own thing, and then once they got on webtoons, you can see the quality jump up.
Yep.
You know, because look at chapter 1 versus now, like just vastly different. You know, even here at Lookism, you know, you could definitely tell there's that sense of professionalism. Even this one I'm reading, also from webtoons, Girl the Wilds, it has that too. Whether it's good or not, I still haven't decided yet. I'm like 260 chapters in. Is it good? I don't know yet.
They'll just give you like a couple hundred more chapters.
Yeah, let me sit on that one for a little bit.
But it's just there's plenty of elements to like about Lookism. I mean, it's not like just purely straight up, oh, this is a very serious manga. Yeah. They incorporate like very wholesome elements, very comedic elements. I mean, they had the whole scene where they're at the theme park.
Oh yeah,
and there's this huge buff like country guy.
Yeah,
who's like dude,
the potato farmer.
These Tokyo kids are like nothing to me.
Yeah,
and it's like this whole time he always thought like this basketball kid was like he was like the bottom of the crop.
Yeah,
and like he got like into a scuffle with the Burn Knuckles gang, and he didn't know who the leader was. And this whole time he was picking on Vasco without realizing it, and Vasco not even realizing he was being picked on the whole time.
Exactly. That kind of shit, like it's so funny. And the one that really got me was in that particular scene. Yeah. Where, like, at Disneyland, you have those, like, rubber bars you can pull apart. It's like, oh, yeah, I'm super strong.
Oh, dude, that scene.
And then Vasco goes, wow, you're really strong. I could do that, too. And then this guy is all, this guy's so stupid. Like, how is he, you know, like, this is all rubber. And then Vasco, he's all, well, let me do the ones on the edge, which are actual real steel. Yeah. And he goes and pulls them out. And then I looks at Vasco like,
he's like, what the fuck?
There's no way.
And he's like, it's gonna, I don't know if I could put it back like you did. Let me try. And he puts them back.
It is wild. I mean, it seems like that really gives you the good slice of life.
And just to show you how wholesome Vasco is, this guy went through the trouble of, like, working at a construction site for a whole summer to pay off this guy because he ruined his tracksuit just a little bit.
That was supposedly $10,000.
$10,000.
And then Vasco says, well, here, let me give you my school uniform. It's not worth $10,000. And after the entire arc, he says, well, guys, I gotta go work. And
I gotta go find a job. And it's like, what? And then we go see him, and he goes to his hometown to try to give him the money.
It is wild. There's so much good stuff in it.
And another one I want to bring up is how wholesome his mother is. Like the scene where they went back to visit his grandparents or like relatives.
His aunts and uncles. On his dad's side.
And they're all like,
that's the key.
Shit. Yeah, they're all pieces of shit.
Yeah, because I think his dad left him when he was really young. Yeah. He doesn't really care about that side anymore because he's like, what's the point? Mm-hmm. You know, especially when he saw, you know, he's already growing so much as a character at this point, and then he sees like his mom's doing all the work.
Yeah, and it's like this whole time they're there, just like his mom making all the food. His mom's like trying to cater to all the kids' needs, and like they're still being pieces of shits, and they're like trying to flaunt about like, oh, I got a degree, like I'm this far in life. And then it was like questioning like, why the fuck are we here? It's like, why do we have to be here right now? And then the thing that got me so hard was when his mom said, well, we need people to be there for your wedding. I was like, that hit me so bad.
That hurt. Yeah. His mom is a really good.
His mom is like up there with Vasco in terms of wholesomeness. They are on equal terms in terms of hopes.
I completely agree.
So, are we going to talk about how Jay is just gay for Daniel?
Yo, okay,
dude,
hold on.
this guy.
I need to just make this out here, okay? Like, I'm not one for yaoi. I'm not. That's just not my cup of tea. There are a lot of, like, relationships I wish would happen in this whole series. And for some reason, I low-key, like, just want Jay to tell Daniel, like, how much he loves this guy. Because, okay, so, background on Jay. He's a multi-millionaire in this school, and he's infatuated with Daniel. He's given him hundreds of designer brand clothes because he knows this guy is dirt poor.
Throughout the whole thing, he's never talked.
Yeah, he has no words at all. He does everything for this guy. Goes to the ends of the earth for him. And just... I just want him to confess his love and get denied. Just so he can get it out there. But that shit was really funny when his sister actually had a crush on Daniel. And he's trying to keep her away from him. And, oh, man. There's so many love triangles. It's crazy.
The middle school kid, right? And then she shows, and then a year goes by, and now she's there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit is funny.
It was funny, like, that one time it was like, oh, he realized Daniel didn't have any clothes, and it's like, one day he got down, just goes outside of his apartment, he's like 10 bags. Yeah. 10 bags of just, like, designer clothes in it.
And it's funny too because Jay's just like, oh yeah, no, I was getting rid of these anyway, and then all the classmates are like, wow, that's some really expensive like clothing. He's like, oh, it's nothing really. They're like, man, he must be fucking rich. Yeah. Holy shit.
Little do they know, this dude's like dirt poor. But yeah, there's too many good characters.
Yeah,
I have a lot of love for all of them except for Jiho.
Yeah, Jiho's.
Yeah, Jiho's out of the main characters. Yeah, he could just leave. But man, yeah, I'm really surprised of the last arc, the Logan arc, I think it's called, with Zoe. Like that was a surprise.
This is why Zoe will be best girl to me, no matter what. Zoe is going to be best.
You made a really good argument earlier, and
okay. So to bring up the argument that I brought towards Adam for is the reason why I love Zoe so much as best girl is because, okay, originally. Yeah, she had the hots for Hot Daniel, but then she realized, the goodness that was behind Fat Daniel when she visited the convenience store.
Yeah, and then, because he saved her from the stalker as well, and that was where she was like, oh my gosh, he's actually a really nice guy, even though he's a piggy, And then she has outbursts where she says, no, I like the piggy, in front of Hot Daniel, and then he doesn't really understand.
And she's like, what am I saying? Oh no.
But just what she does for him, I mean, no matter how you look at it, she was really stuck up at first, but she really grew to be like, I like people for who they are.
And also the amount of like bullshit she had to go through while dealing with Logan. Dude, that stuff that destroyed me when she went to the bathroom and when she was walking down the hallway and you hear all these people saying, oh, she's like, she's so loose.
Maybe I should go out with her next, blah blah. And then she goes to the bathroom.
She's keeping that like poker face the whole time. And the second she goes in the bathroom, she turns on the
sink and then sits on the. Oh my!
Starts crying. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm glad that like Daniel got some redemption for that, and he went through the trouble of having that fight with Logan. And no matter what, like he knew even if he was going to lose that, he still like stood up for it and went to the point where he just had to get him to use his right hand because that was a condition. If you got him to use his right hand, then he would let go of Zoe.
Yeah.
And that's all.
So here's an interesting thing. I was thinking about reading this arc, right? Because this is just after he decided he needs to be a better man and just go back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Go back to his life. And then he finds out from Crystal about what's going on with Zoe and Logan. Mm-hmm. And you guys probably noticed, but he's drawn Fat Daniel differently.
Oh no, because he mentioned that he lost weight. Right before he goes.
Well, not even that. He's not even wearing glasses anymore at that point.
Yeah.
He's looking more like his new body. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure. I'm just guessing that's how we're gonna get the end of this manga. He's gonna become the new Daniel. Yeah.
So how are we gonna theorize this? Is it gonna be like Daniel old like handsome Daniel was actually a future version of the current Daniel, and they somehow like. I think Daniel,
like
this is. I mean, think about it. Like the whole concept of him like transferring bodies. while sleeping is bizarre to begin with. Like, are they using some sort of like really advanced technology to do it, or like what's?
I think the person that Daniel was tracking down, who the paramedics identified, I think that's really him. Like that's his body.
That's actual person.
Yeah, but he's just his fucking mind's gone. Yeah.
And like, what's going to happen when he realizes his true form, and then what's going to happen to the other body? Is that going to become its own?
I think he's going to wake up one day, right at the end of the manga. It's going to end. He wakes up in his old body. The new one's just gone.
Yeah. That's what I would like.
And he's just gonna be Daniel at that point.
I think throughout high school he will progress and lose all that body fat and actually change, because he's not as big as he was like in the beginning of the series. Yeah. He's been working out with Vasco, and he's got this whole new mentality after being homeless. Like, no, I need to make the change because this is the way it's supposed to be. I've got to fight for what I want. And I feel that with that drive, he's going to slowly shift into becoming the pretty Daniel. Because with Crystal, she said she stopped working out. All she does is study in her old body.
Yeah, so that's the thing.
She and the new one, she just keeps up with it.
Yeah, she doesn't. Daniel's going through clearly a process, right? But Crystal has really, she doesn't have the same things she needs to worry about as Daniel, you know?
So she's not going to have that.
So, she doesn't have to really put in that kind of effort. Mm-hmm. So she probably won't change type of deal, you know?
It'd be nice if she did that.
Yeah. But I mean,
I think it's
gonna be them two at the end.
It's like a matter of time where she makes that realization too. It's like, oh, maybe I should change my former body, or my original body, to make it so it can reach the point where it's at my gorgeous body.
I think she'll get there. It's just going to take when she actually realizes that it's the same person. I really want her to so bad.
With Daniel?
Yeah.
Oh, she's going to find out.
So you want Crystal and Daniel to?
No, I just want her to know.
You just want her to know.
I just want her to know. But I have a feeling that I don't know what it is. I just have a feeling that he might end up with Zoe.
I don't think so. I think because look, this is how. Remember when they first meet, right? They meet all the bodies meet basically, right? But in inverse. So Fat Crystal meets new Daniel. Yeah. Like he has feelings for her, but she doesn't. And then in her new body, she has feelings for his old body. Mm-hmm. And so when they find out that they both are the same person, it's just going to click.
It's clear what the love is.
Especially now because.
It's star-crossed.
What's it called?
Man. That's all it is. Star-crossed
that's pretty much what it is. Yeah. No, because she's starting to see Daniel in a new light. The new Daniel, anyways, because she's like, oh, he's just some asshole, this and that, and then she's slowly understanding, like, maybe he's actually not that bad of a person. So once they finally get all this confusion out of the way, they're just gonna end up together at the end. Yeah. I
did like how that whole arc went, where it was his cousin and not actually Daniel at the convenience store when she confronted him.
Oh no, that wasn't his cousin. No, that was Duke.
Was that Duke?
No,
it wasn't cousin. Wasn't
because Duke was doing the live stream.
Yeah, and he was doing it with Daniel, the live stream with Daniel. Because
yes, you're right.
I'm talking about when she goes back to investigate.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
because like
that's when Vasco was there with him, because that was the cousin who was like, "Oh, I know someone in Burn Knuckles, too." And then Daniel was like, oh, well, I actually know the leader, Vasco. And then he has a meet with him while he goes on stream with Duke. Oh, tell him about the whole fucking thing with Duke and Daniel and the Idol thing, how that's an actual song.
Oh, so I don't know if you noticed it, Carl, but I was reading it. And if you remember when they first meet, right? Duke's like, he hears Daniel sing. Yeah. And he was like, holy shit, I need your help for the festival. Yeah. He was like, okay. And so they're practicing with each other, right? When they perform the song, right before they perform it, one of the pages on the side, it said, click the link to listen. And I was like, what? And I use a different app than Webtoons, so there wasn't a link. So I looked it up on YouTube. And I don't know if you guys know this, but every character in Lookism are based off of real people.
Really?
Yeah. If you just Google Lookism, like real people or, something like that, There's shots of when Daniel was modeling, for example. It's just literally 1-to-1 with the person that Daniel's based off of.
That's badass.
Yeah. So the actual song plays, and you just watch it. It's like there's a music video for it. And I looked and I was like, oh yeah, that's clearly Duke and that's clearly Daniel.
That's pretty cool.
Like it's very 1-to-1, and it's the official song for Lookism, which is pretty crazy. Yeah. Oh, but man, the whole idol training dude, like the one scene that got me was with Vasco when he showed up, and he's just there to hang out with Daniel. You know, it's like, oh, I'm his manager.
Yo, that dude.
Yeah, but then when you saw Duke's ears. Remember what happened with the nails? Yeah, man, he just punched that guy like cold. I was like, oh man,
that guy had it coming.
He really had it coming. I was like, man, Vasco is pissed. It was great.
I can't say enough. Vasco is best boy.
He really is. I think that's one thing that makes Lookism stand out in terms of most other manhwas, is that they reference a lot of like real world aspects, like we were saying earlier. Yeah. Real world people and real world
situations. I think it's just that it's that, and then the psychological like analysis that they do, like the seeing the psychotic breaks of different characters, like Zach with his anger, Jiho with his depression and confusion, like Daniel with his split personality, essentially. You know, all that stuff just kind of falls into different rabbit holes, and just seeing that unfold is just. This shit wild.
I mean, arguably, if you want to take like every single character out from the manga, you could give them their own archetypes. Yeah. They literally have their own. They stand out so much. Where if you say like, oh, there's that one guy who does that one thing, you know who it is.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
The angry guy, Zach. The wholesome guy, Vasco. Yeah. So you just know right away because their characters stand out that much. Mm-hmm.
But overall, check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, because
it starts off real strong too. That's the one thing I really enjoyed about it. It's a really, really strong start.
This is what like gives me hope for like the Korean industry for manhwas. Like it's only been getting better, definitely. And it's very underrated right now because not too many people really know about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think out of webtoons, the big three. The big three. I was watching a YouTube video, like, what are the big three on webtoons? I'm like, oh, let me check it out. Yeah. The number one from webtoons, obviously, the God of High School. Because that got its own video game.
Oh, wow.
And its own anime.
Oh.
So, yeah. Of course, Tower of God's top there as well. And then Noblesse. Noblesse got an OVA.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it has its own OVA.
I know I checked for, the official webtoons. YouTube, they did like a short animatic with a tidbit of characters from Lookism being animated.
Oh, I didn't even see that one.
Yeah,
I saw the CG one for Tower of God that I shared.
Remember that one? Yeah, I like that one. That one's cool.
Yeah,
when the animation industry starts taking off for Korea, that's when it's gonna get like.
Oh, yeah,
that's where Japan's gonna have some competition, like serious competition.
Without a doubt.
Well, even just like. I'm reading the Girls the Wild that I'm reading right now. That one actually has physical volumes out. And I know the guy that writes Tower of God.
He has merch out.
I don't think they're on sale anywhere. Like I've looked. The only thing that's come out of Tower of God are those chibi figures that are like $20 a pop because imports.
Yeah.
You know. But I think at conventions that he goes to, he sells physical. But yeah, manhwas really need to pop off.
Yeah.
Besides all this yaoi shit.
Also, we're not going to like the more R18 side of the manga industry.
Yeah,
that's pretty big too.
I've been there. We've been there, Carl. We checked out.
There's some like really good artists.
I forget the name because I saw the official name. It's the Sweet Guy.
Sweet Guy.
Sweet Guy's a big
Household
one.
Affairs.
Household Affairs. How could I forget? But that's the R18 stuff, which is to the more popular.
I mean, in terms of like the level of quality that's in Sweet Guy, that stuff is top notch.
Yeah, that art really is ridiculous. Yeah. Again, it reminds me of when we got asked to review a manhwa called Killing Stalking.
Oh.
The guy mentioned like, oh, it's a boy love manhwa, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to read that, and so I had somebody else read it. But they They said like it's not really like it's there, but that's not the point of the manhwa. And I'm like, oh okay, it's just like that's what you assume when you hear manhwa. It's like yaoi, sex, like what?
Yeah, I mean, but it's a very diverse industry,
Mm-hmm.
and it just needs more room to grow, and we'll get there.
We'll get there.
Yeah, but we're all hyped for the current arc right now. I mean, I kind of am, but at the same time, like I'd rather just kind of skip it because I want to see because this arc is not going to be focused on Daniel, which is weird because
we just got all this attention from.
But see what we just got, right? Like he fought Logan pretty evenly. Mm-hmm. He still lost because it's his old body and he's not used to fighting like that in his old body. Mm-hmm. Sure, and then we get the stuff with Zoe and how he apologizes and how Logan's still pissed about all that, and then we immediately just get cut. Okay, now let's go to the God Dogs. Let's see them beat up Burnt Knuckles. Let's go fuck up Logan. And and I was like, whoa, man, like where's Daniel?
And we're absolutely gonna get a rematch with Zack and the leader.
I think that's how it has.
We're absolutely gonna get a rematch.
So good.
Yeah,
I think it'd be so good.
Well, see, I feel like Vasco's gonna get beaten up, right, in this arc, and
I don't know.
I think he's gonna get whooped the first time. He's gonna have a rematch for somebody for sure. Mm-hmm. But then what's it called? Zack finds out about it, or he's there when Vasco talks about how he got beat up by this boxer, and it's gonna strike. He probably describes him or something like, oh, he was wearing the sweater with a dog holding a cross.
Hold on, I'm sorry to stop you, but can we just talk about, because this is part of this next arc, talk about the fucking judo guy who fights in the dark?
Oh man, from not the music department,
this
right?
Is in the newest chapter. So the guy in the music department.
Okay, wait, you read?
I haven't read.
You read last chapter though, right?
So is he like really brand new?
No.
He's
you know the guy with the sunglasses?
He never takes off his sunglasses.
Yeah, that guy?
Yeah, he's like brutal.
Wait, what? He fights? I thought he was like a wuss this whole time.
No. So he's a judo fighter.
Yeah.
Like you see him fight before, and he always loses to everybody.
Yeah. That's why I always assume like he's
no. So then he's at the arcade with that girl, his best friend.
Yeah.
And then she like breaks the circuit right when they like pull off his sunglasses.
Yeah.
And then she goes, "Why don't you just kick their asses? Stop being a stupid wuss." And then he gets up.
And he's like, I can see.
Yeah.
Because this dumbass is just I
can see everything. And then the guy's a pro wrestler.
Yeah.
And then he's all, well, it doesn't really matter because you were losing.
He's like, oh, that's different.
But he's like destroying these guys left and right. Like, oh my gosh. And then they make a joke like, oh, what are you, Kakashi? Because like you see like one eye shine in the darkness.
Wow, dude.
He has to have a scar or something on his face.
Yeah, he's got to have something, but it's just...
I thought it was funny because he takes off his sunglasses when the lights are off, and he says, like, this guy's a dumbass. Because he's just like, yeah, my sunglasses, like, I had them strengthened to 6 times, so you can't even fucking see out of them. And now that it's pitch black, it's like his eyes are already adjusted to darkness. He's like, I could finally see. It's like, you fucking idiot.
Like, guys, no, but it's gonna be a good arc, regardless.
Yeah, but yeah, so I think Vasco's gonna describe what Jonah looks like. And Zack's gonna know who it is. Mm-hmm. I bet you he's gonna find him somewhere. Yeah. And they're gonna talk, and it's just gonna be this deal on the. Jonah's gonna be like, I don't want to fight you, man, because you remember what happened last time or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then we'll see where it goes from there. But that's the only thing I'm really interested in for this arc is to see the rematch with Zack and Jonah. Mm-hmm. And like the Burnt Knuckles stuff, sure, it's cool because Burnt Knuckles great, but.
Yeah,
I'd rather focus. I think the
real meat and potatoes is going to be that fight.
Yeah, I'd rather focus on just what's Daniel's plan forward, now that he's back, and then we'll just see where it goes from there,
Good stuff, though.
Yeah, and I was, as much as I liked the arc with Logan, I was like, man, only 3, when I saw it say part 1 of 3, and I was like, oh, come on, man, like you gotta.
It could have lasted.
Give me something.
They could have melted another. Part, but
yeah. So I mean, we're getting that rematch too, of course. Mm-hmm. So we'll.
But I always do like the subtle hints they give off to like Fat Daniel being a lot more stronger than what he looks.
Yep.
Like that one scene where he was like gonna try to test out that punch meter.
Oh yeah, and he ripped it.
And he rips it, and Vassal's like, "What the heck?"
Mm-hmm. What is that about? What does that mean? Is he getting the strength from his new body? Like,
I mean, it might have been just like he was strong this whole time, but like he was too afraid to actually use
too
his
afraid to
strength.
use it. Yeah. Some weird shonen shit.
It's gonna end up being like that. He's gonna have like some dragon punch, like Goku style.
Yeah. But I think that's it for now. All I can say for now. I mean,
Yeah, I think we'll have to do another one, like a couple more larks from now, and let you guys know how we feel. See if Gio comes back, and I really hope he doesn't. But
He's gonna come back and be like the ultimate villain.
You know, now that I think more about it, he probably will come back. It'll be that trope where, I think Daniel will be involved with this whole god dog thing, and because he realizes he's like, oh, this is what Crystal's father was saying, you know, unite the four, and so they're gonna get whooped. Word's gonna spread around that Daniel did it. It's gonna get word to the juvie hall where that other leader's at.
And then because he doesn't even know that he's alive or dead.
Yeah. So when he gets out, he's gonna recruit this loser and have him like stake out Daniel and all that. Give him a job to do, and then we're gonna see him be a fucking crazy asshole. He just looks fucking crazy when his head's all shaved and he's missing teeth.
Yeah, Jesus.
Like
the fact that he spit his teeth out into that guy's eyes.
Man, I don't know how accurate that solitary is in Korea, but that shit's fucked up.
Yeah, that really is.
Don't use any paper. I don't want to smell your ass.
Fuck, man.
Like, wipe with your hands. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, that's some crazy shit,
I just want shit.
Can't even lean back on the wall and all that. Like they want you to go crazy.
I just like that panel where it goes, why is this stain on the wall? And then a few panels later it goes, oh, it's because they're banging their head up against the side of the wall. It's a permanent blood stain.
It's fucking just gnarly, dude.
That shit's fucked.
Yeah.
But overall, check it out, fellas.
Yeah, check it out. The outro is going to be the song again from the festival chapter. I'll put the link on for the YouTube. And it's a good song. Did you listen to it yet, Adam, or no?
No, it's a lot to listen to.
Yeah, I'll send you the link for that. It's pretty good. And I was surprised. Like you literally just look up. If you look up like the people that are based off of, I think for Vasco it's based off of some rapper. And I was like, oh, that's perfect.
And also, if you want updates on the manhwa, the artist actually has an Instagram too as well. So if you have your methods, then you can find him.
I'm just have to Google that one. Yeah.
Do
you follow him?
Yeah, I follow him. Yeah, and he every now and then he'll post like updates on what he's working on.
Yo, it really do look like him though. Like that's
right.
Oh my gosh! I just looked up Vasco and wow.
But is there actual representation of what Vasco looks like?
Yeah,
I need to see that.
That's when he has his mustache shaved. But
that's pretty close. That's pretty close, actually.
Look, you want to see Daniel?
Yeah.
Pretty Daniel.
It's literally just Daniel.
Oh my god!
It looks exactly.
That's
like
actually
him.
like 1-to-1.
Yeah.
You even got Jay on here.
Yeah, they're all based off of like
that is crazy.
That is
celebrities in Korea, I was like, okay.
Look, here's your best girls always.
Looks like I'm moving to Korea.
Yo, even Duke.
Dude, it's literally just Duke. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a trip. That's really, really cool.
That guy does his research to the dot.
Well, it's like with Oda. I don't know if you remember that the question. At the end of the English volumes, it's the questionnaires from the weekly magazine.
Mm-hmm.
And when the Worst Generation came out, this guy broke it down and was like, "Are these characters based off of real pirates?" And he lists like who everybody's based off of, and he's like, "Yeah, you're right, except for this one, like he missed one." Mm-hmm. He's like, "It's actually based off of this guy, but no, like they're all based off of real pirates, like Eustace, Capone, Bon Jewelry, Baskel, the fuck's his name? The one with the mask that's with Basil." I forget his name. Yeah, he has a mask with long hair. He's not a captain. He's
the one who's with Kid?
Is it with Kid? I think with Kid, yeah. I forget.
The helmet?
Yeah, I forget his name. But yeah, they're all based off of real people.
Damn.
Or real pirates. And I was like, oh shit, okay. I was like, damn. But yeah, that's gonna wrap up this episode of the podcast. Thanks for listening, fellas. And yeah, if you haven't checked out Lookism,
definitely check it out.
You know,
be on the lookout for the most wholesome boy Vasco.
Yeah, he's just a fun time. The part with his birthday, and it's just like Zach wants to pull a prank and throws an empty box into the lake. And it's like, wait, and Vasco's like, oh, I gotta go find it. No.
It's a precious present that my friend gave me.
And then everybody's looking at Zach like, come on, man. He's like, okay. Oh, Vasco, I found it. Okay. Wait, what about your rock? Where'd it go?
That's good.
That shit was funny.
And also, like, was it the date he had with that girl?
Dude, the blind date
and he gets, like, the whole bare knuckle game, like, involved later on, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny because he shaves. He's wearing some nice clothes from Jay. And he's just being a nice person. And she's just like, oh my God, I think I'm in love.
That's cool.
Yeah. And they pulled that trope with the new character in the architect group, the chick.
Oh, yeah.
That everybody's like, oh, it's just a guy.
Yeah.
And for like, she has feelings for Vasco and stuff. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay.
I really hope that happens. Either her and Jace or her and Vasco.
You know how it's gonna be? They're gonna be like together all the time. And Daniel's like, oh, are you guys together? And it's just like, actually, Vasco doesn't know I'm still a girl yet. Yeah. Like, I tried telling him and he just doesn't understand.
Pretty much.
Oh, man. Good stuff. Alright, guys. Remember, you can follow us on social media. Links in the description. You can email us at unversedpodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what you think about Lookism. It's definitely a nice change up into what I usually read, for sure. Mm-hmm. Just because it's going for so many things and it's doing it really well is what is most impressive about this manhwa. What did they say? Like manhwa artist, author, whatever the term is.
Manhwaka.
And also be on the lookout for Adam, your podcast, right? The
BFM, the Big Fucking Mood podcast. We'll definitely be doing one hopefully this weekend for LA Comic-Con.
Yeah, I'll bring the mics. Just fuck around.
We'll probably do another episode. I'm thinking because of time constraint, I can probably only do one episode a month at this point. But I'll see. Keep y'all updated. The first episode did come out a few weeks ago. Go check that out. It's Big Fucking Mood Podcast on Instagram.
Links in description as always for all that good stuff. And yeah, that's all for this week. And yeah, like Adam said, we're going to be at LA Comic-Con. It's this week as this episode comes out. We're going to be there. Come say hi, swing by. We'll be posting on the social medias.
We might have some video game tournaments. If we can round up enough people for that. Probably Dragon Ball Fighter and maybe some Smash.
Yeah, you play Smash. I'll be over. I'll be playing Dragon Ball. Yeah.
Well, all right, folks.
There's a gaming area, right? Was there one last year?
I can't recall.
I don't remember. But we got to whoop those guys.
Definitely. Got to practice.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. So thanks for listening again, and we will talk to you guys next time.
내가 처음 뱉은 람들로 가사를 뱉을 때 관객들로 메워싸인 이 무대를 누빌 때 박자를 절고 가사를 까먹는 드라마 없기를 바래 이건 TV 속에서 보던 드라마 소름이 끼쳐리어 설도했지 않세번 난 영웅이 될 거야 허리 쪽 꿈의 메칸더 V 마스터피 또는 여기 마스터키 롤모델들과 한잔할 거야 이 마스터끼리 안 된다 했고 날 내려봤던 모두 날 반해 사이는 이 무대 위에서 숨을 거듬 멍청한 표정 쩍 벌어진 너의 배 침 뱉어 주러 다시 돌아온다 I'll be back
지나간 아픔들은 지워 yeah. 어제와 다른 오늘 so beautiful day yeah. 두려움을 딛고 한 걸음 뛰면 따갑던 나날들은 아무것도 아니야 be okay 혼자서만 듣던 내 목소리 자신감 없는 나만의 스테이지 yeah, yeah. 끝없이 노력하다 보니 어느새 난 이 무대 위에서 노래해
옷방에 붙은 포스터 내가 될 준비돼 가기로 맘먹어 내 도달지마 여기에 대서 고생만 했던 맘 이젠 편해질 차례 우리 행복을 위해서 너가 도와주길 바래 별거 없어 시발 그냥 이 그대로를 즐겨 오늘도 가사 쓰려 난 컴퓨터 켜고 불꺼
지나간 아픔들은 지워 yeah. 어제와 다른 오늘 so beautiful day yeah. 두려움을 딛고 한 걸음 뛰면 따갑던 나날들은 아무것도 아니야 be okay 지나간 아픔들은 지워 yeah, yeah. 어제와 다른 오늘 so beautiful day yeah. so beautiful day 두려움을 딛고 한 걸음 뛰면 따갑던 나날들은 아무것도 아니야 be okay 따갑던 나날들은 아무것도 아니야 be okay